everybody, Adam Arkfeld with ParaCore, and today we're going to be talking about branded ads and AdWords. I get the question a lot about whether or not to run branded ads. Are they a waste of money? Are they good for advertising, for paid search? And so in this video, I'm going to go over 3 different scenarios for using branded ads and why you may or may not want to use them. All right, so the very first scenario is a professional services firm, ParaCore. This is our branded ad. When you type in ParaCore, you get our ad. You also get our organic listing. This is our Google Plus listing, or My Business listing, I think it's called now. And then you get a number of videos down here. So as you can see, ParaCore pretty much runs the ParaCore search. We pretty much own the page. Now, this dental product related to ParaCore also starts to creep its way up, but we pretty much own it. And so here you can see this is ParaCore. It gives you a much more control over your ad and the information you're seeing when you're running a branded ad. Here's the title. There are a few different title lines here. The description. Here's our location. When we're closing. I have a couple different site link extensions here. And I get to control this content 100%. Also has our phone number. Down here, we have some of the information. These site links were automatically created by Google. This is our title tag. And then you have some sort of a description. So when you're creating a branded ad, you actually have a lot more control over what people are seeing to a very large degree. It takes up a lot of real estate. When you're on a mobile device, you can click this to call it. You can click here for directions. So a branded ad also really improves the accessibility of your business to the general consumer. For our business, we're not getting like a billion searches like a company like Apple or something like that, right? So the cost is really cheap. Branded ads are, I think for us, they're less than $1 a click. We spend, I don't know, a couple $100s a month on it maybe. Doesn't cost that much money, but it creates really strong brand awareness, stronger brand recognition. And I personally, as a business owner, just like having that there so that it's more front and center. People can really see a much bigger ad, see more information about your company, and you can control what you're showing the consumer. All right, so that's a scenario where I think branded ads are very helpful. We do get miscellaneous calls where people aren't trying to buy our services. We get all sorts of calls on our tracking numbers, but I think it's very relevant and I think it's important when a business runs them. Now, another example, we run marketing for different schools. We don't run marketing for Cortiva, but we do run marketing for competitor type schools. And what we've seen with like a school or like we do property management, and they really serve there's kind of like 2 steps or 2 different markets. So for like this massage institute, when someone is looking for a massage institute and they're searching for massage school, you want Cortiva to pop up and appear so that you can grab somebody that maybe isn't sure where they are in the buy cycle. However, because a massage school is such a large purchase and it's not as if you're looking at 100 of them, there's only a handful in a certain region. When you type in the name of the massage school, I don't think it's incredibly important that a branded ad exists, unless, of course, you want just more brand recognition, like I was saying with ParaCore. But from a performance perspective, if someone's typing in Cortiva, you're the first result. You might be getting a lot of searches for this. It might be costing you a lot more if it's a high volume brand. And it's not incredibly helpful to get to have the branded ad at the top of the page if you have a student calling who's already a student. You have someone calling who's already found you through another paid ad that they already clicked on before. You're basically advertising to someone that already knows who you are, and you don't need to advertise to them anymore, right? Now, again, there's the conversation that we had before with ParaCore where if you just want to buy up the space, but from a performance perspective, you're already going to be showing here, and I don't think it's necessary. Also, if you have a business that has kind of 2 different markets, so with property management companies want to find property owners looking to rent their property. They don't really have trouble finding tenants, or at least in today's market. So if you buy a branded ad on a property management company, let's just say it's mypropertymanagement.com, then you are basically opening yourself up to get a lot of tenant calls, a lot of calls from people that already know who you are, your existing clients, and I think that's actually a worse scenario than Cortiva that we're talking about. If you put on a property management company, you're getting all these tenant calls of people that have like maintenance requests or need to pay their bills or have a complaint or something else. So for property management, we've actually pulled off all branding ads, and it's just about like property rentals in Phoenix or something along those lines. So I think that in these scenarios where once someone's engaged with you, they already know your name and have brand recognition. I don't think it's that important to be buying branded ads to reinforce that. I think to some degree it's wasted spend. And if you have a lot of activity and you have a lot of people looking for your business name, then it could actually cost a lot of money. All right, now the third scenario is like a company like Mr. Sparky, for example, and they're an electrician, a residential electrician. And you could have the same argument as the last time, where it's like if someone's looking for an electrician and they don't know who they want, so Phoenix electrician, then you want Mr. Sparky to show up and you want people to see Mr. Sparky and learn about the brand, click the landing page, contact you, and you're in great shape. Okay, so you're actually acquiring a new lead through someone that didn't know who you were. And then you could also argue that, well, if someone types in Mr. Sparky, they know who you are, and so you don't really need to show the ad, kind of just like we were talking about a second ago. Now, there's 2 points to consider on that one. Here we have Mr. Sparky's corporate page. They're a franchise. And so you don't actually get the local Mr. Sparky as your first search result. Now you do get this, this map, which has the local Mr. Sparky. You do get locations, and then it rolls into Home Advisor. So your results are not incredibly dialed in for the organic side because it's a franchise, and the franchise actually has more weight when you're typing in the Mr. Sparky brand, even though it's a location search. However, Parker & Sons is buying Mr. Sparky as a competitor in a conquesting campaign. So they are trying to steal traffic for people looking for Mr. Sparky. Now, I have my own opinions about competitor campaigns. I think if someone's looking for Mr. Sparky and you're Parker & Sons and they call you, that the odds of you converting them when they're so clearly looking for a certain company are kind of low. It's a little bit confusing that they're going to be, if they call, they don't know that they're calling the wrong number, like they're using a mobile device, they click the call. I don't think competitor campaigns are incredibly strong for this type of marketing or for this type of service offering, which is electricians, because someone's looking for Mr. Sparky, they want to find it. However, for Mr. Sparky's case, they are wanting to be at the top. So if, for example, Mr. Sparky wasn't buying their branded campaign and Parker & Sons came up, then people getting here, especially on a mobile device, might see Parker & Sons first. They might contact them, potentially might convert with Parker & Sons, although that's kind of weird because you're looking for such a specific brand and then getting a completely different company. It almost seems it's like a disjointed experience. So those are 3 different scenarios of using branded campaigns. I think that if you just want brand awareness and you really just want your name and to take up the most in search results, they're fine. They're typically affordable. They're not that expensive on a cost per click basis. And if your volume is somewhat reasonable, fine. If you have a very high volume in a nationwide campaign, you might want to reconsider that. If you have a lot of people contacting your place of business frequently that are already customers, so they're always contacting you, they already know who you are, and like there's really no other place they're going to go for property management. Like if you are a homeowner's property management company, they're just not really going to go anywhere else. There's no point in even like conquesting on property management. It doesn't make any sense because someone's already working with them, and you may snag like one person, but the ROI just probably isn't there. Or if a student is already going to this school, we do it for aesthetics schools as well. They're not going to change schools. So like if someone's looking for a specific school, they're going to call that school, as a reputation, as a brand that precedes it. You don't need to buy branded ads. However, if there are competitors conquesting your business, then you might want to introduce a branded campaign just to be top of search results. But even then, I might argue that you don't actually need it, because poaching traffic this way is extremely hard to do when someone is looking for such a specific company in a brand. Like, especially for a school, like to conquest another school and to buy another school's keywords is kind of insane, because the people looking for the actual school are just looking to contact that school. They're not really in the hunt for new schools anymore. Otherwise, they'd be searching for beauty schools in Phoenix or whatever. All right, so that's all I have to talk about with branded campaigns today. Again, my name is Adam. I'm the owner of ParaCore. We're a pay-per-click lead generation agency. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.